in the second half. I felt like, or was he still on the pitch the whole time?
I'm trying to think now.
Because in the first half, him and Shaw did link up nice, and he set up both tries basically, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jumping high into the air for the first one, like we've seen him do, and then kick through for Shaw, which was a decent piece of play, even though it's one of those situations where I'll question Morgan Escaray's positioning, as I want to do. Unfortunately, even though the guy is buzzing when he's got the ball. What did you make of it anyway? Did you feel like the win was on the cards, or did you kind of think there was an inevitable turnaround at some point?
I don't know. I mean, at 12-0, it did look like we had the beating of you.
Yeah. Wigan were not interested, it felt like, for that first half an hour.
We were making yards going forward. We were playing some nice passing rugby, which is something that we don't see a lot of.
There was a few breaks down the middle.
Yeah. I think it's clear that Jake Connor is playing with an injury. Probably has come back far too soon, because he made a break in the first half and was slowing down looking for someone to pass to. And 6 months ago, there's no way he'd have done that.
I still think he might have been caught, because Don Manfredi it was who tracked him down when he was absolutely charging, like super speed.
But he was looking for, I don't know, I think there were a few times where it showed that I think he had to come back early from injury, given that we had nobody else to play.
Yeah, fair play.
And again, Josh Griffin, he's another one who I don't think's fully fit.
And he played in the second row in this game, although there was a lot of weird merry-go-round going on with the outside backs during the game as well.
Yeah, although I think...
which probably interrupted your attacking cohesion in the second half as well.
Yeah, although I think Griffin in the second row really does steady up that outside defence, which is the place we keep getting caught.
Well, Wigan's first try came at the other side of the pitch to where he was. Wigan's second try came at the other side of the pitch to where he was. So maybe there's something in that. And Wigan's winning try, Oliver Gildart, was just a really good effort from Gildart to get the ball down. Kind of fighting through the tackles, preventing the tackle from being complete and reaching his arm out, which really good effort from him. One of the few really good efforts I think from Wigan. We were flat in this game.
But I have to say I think that it's the best game Ferreira's played all year.
Okay.
Just to put that out there.
He didn't get sent off, so that helps.
He's only been sent off once.
Twice.
Was he twice?
Yeah. He was red carded twice.
Okay, well there you go. But that's only twice. Sometimes we'd have rather he'd been sent off, I think.
Yeah, obviously Wigan still keeping a couple of the senior players out of the firing line, Sean O'Loughlin and Tommy Luluai, who will come back into contention next week. Sam Tompkins was kept out of this one as well. From a Wigan perspective, Ben Flower they resisted the temptation to give him a game after a recent injury. Liam Farrell, though, did get some game time after his injury. Joe Greenwood going off with a head knock early, sort of midway through the first half, and they never bothered to push him back into the action, really, is the sense I got from that one. So he should be fine next week. So really, Wigan, I think, only real injury concerns. Obviously, the wingers that aren't playing, but it doesn't matter because they've got two of the top wingers in the competition. Whoever of the four it gets to play is fit enough to play. And Sean O'Loughlin's calf is going to be a problem, but whether he gets through some time next week and whatever time he's on the field will be a benefit. And it looks like both Farrell and Flower should be back in for next week. So only really Willie Isa and the wingers are the injury situation for Wigan going into the semi-finals. But I've not seen anything on the disciplinary. Tautai was put on report during the game. I think Wigan fans are probably maybe hoping that that'll stick, because we don't want an excuse to play someone who's not been playing at the same level of form, although I actually thought in this game he was quite a powerful member of the side. So actually to give him some credit, he put in a really hard-working performance, I thought, which was good for him. That's about it. To be honest, it was kind of a bit...
Yeah, I think we went expecting the worst. So to go 12-0 up, was really good. It did feel like a hard loss to take in the end because it did feel like we'd been in control. But, at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, if you'd said you can lose by 2 points, I'd have said, go on then.
Yeah, and Wigan, the goal kicking wasn't on top notch form, but it wasn't the regular goal kicker doing that, so not too much of a concern for me there. And it was just flat. I think people didn't want to get injured, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So I don't take too much from it from a Wigan perspective. From a Hull FC perspective, I think what you've got to take from it is
it was the last
some of the guys competed. Yeah, and it's that's it. And the highlight of the game, actually, before we talk about the stats, was Joshua getting some more boots to his collection. Some boots that I think he can fit probably his entire leg in, rather than just his foot.
Yeah, and I mean, Mickey Peer was stripped down to his boxers, giving everything away.
So Joshua got Josh Griffin's boots, didn't he? And Mickey Peer, you wanted to touch on that. You think it was his last game because of the way he gave everything away. Other than his tackle trunks.
He literally came into the crowd, which is something I've not seen him do before, and actually went along the line shaking everybody's hand. And then, shirt, shorts, away shirt, socks, boots all came off and were given to different people.
Right. I mean, of course, I think it was a fantastic effort from you lot that were there, especially after the run you've been on, and coming across for one last time over the dreaded. And your away trips in this eights have been not good ones. I mean, Wigan, Saints, and Huddersfield. Wigan, Saints, and Warrington all away.
Yeah, our closest away match has been Huddersfield, which it's not that close.
No, it's the furthest away for you in Yorkshire, isn't it? Right, stats. Wigan are another semi-final, unless you've got anything else to.
No.
Wigan are another semi-final side that won't be happy with their final round error count, losing that 16-13. They also made 2 fewer breaks than Hull FC, but did make over 150 more metres and conceded 4 fewer penalties to nick a narrow win. Yeah, Wigan's scrambling defence and goal line defence are both very strong still at this stage of the season. Recovering from breaks emphasises that. Individually, Tom Davies 144 metres, Don Manfredi 8 tackle busts 135 metres, John Bateman 127 metres, and Tauli Matautai 107 metres. Jamie Shaw 1 try, 9 tackle busts, 109 metres, 2 clean breaks. Danny Houghton 49 tackles, 59 conversations with the referee. Beretta Ferramo 5 tackle busts, 125 metres, and Scott Taylor 110 metres. Taylor was up for it. I think Taylor was one of those players who showed a level of intensity that was helpful for us going into the playoffs next week.
Yeah.
Catalan finished things off on Saturday. No one gave a shit so much that Sky didn't even show it. Catalan 22, Huddersfield 12. It was 12-0 actually to Huddersfield at half-time, but a Catalan turnaround, or should I say a David Mead turnaround in the second half, saw the home side win on their final game. 7,340 is a bit of a disappointing way to see out that from the crowd perspective. Greg Dolan was is it Greg or Glenn? I always ask this question every week. Was the ref anyway? Dolan was the referee. We got one fan reviewing on this one. I'm not sure that Malcar Matias was at the game, but he says, crowd karma Giants again, how exciting, looking forward to loopy games next season. Not Camp Nou, well that's different. Mead karma sweet as honey, now it's back to the beach, I think was the symbol that didn't come through, giving away exactly who Malcar Matias I think is with that final little bit there. Wigan potentially playing in June next year, towards the back end of June next year, against the Catalan Dragons in the new camp is a really exciting proposition, and if we can even get a quarter of that stadium full, it'll be the highest attendance that Catalan Dragons will have had for a nominal home game. So that could be fantastic next year, and a way to help push our game into Spain and into that area of the southern area of Catalonia. So good work on that, and I've got more to say about that than I have the game, because like I say, I didn't see anything. I know that David Mead scored 4 second half tries, and the Huddersfield tries came from the senior twins, 1 each. So well done to them getting some first team action to finish the season out. Anything from you?
No.
No. Stats say that the game could have gone either way. Catalan made more metres, but the Giant edged the breaks, errors, and tackle success. Catalan edged penalties, though, and decisively were able to convert their chances into tries. 4 tries to 2 from 5 breaks to 6. So more tries, less breaks. David Mead, 4 tries, 6 tackles, 122 metres, 2 clean breaks. Mikael Gudimont, 44 tackles. He's had a real breakthrough season this season, hasn't he? The young back rower. Sammy Stoney Lange, 133 metres, and Ben Julian, who both of these last two played in the centres actually in this game. Ben Julian, 1 try assist, 111 metres. For Huddersfield, my vote for most underrated player this season, I think, is this first one. Paul Clough, 103 metres, and a man who's really stood up for the Giants throughout. I think he's been in every stats roundup in these Super 8s. Is Suia Matongi with 112 metres. What does that mean to the final standings in Super League, Sarah?
So St Helens end things with 52 points, which is the best total we've seen after a 30-game Super 8s era season. Wigan end second with 46 points, the third best Super 8s era total we've seen, and become the only side that will have won all 7 top-tier Super 8s fixtures during the structure's 4-year stay. Castleford a third, Warrington a fourth, but we all knew that. Wakefield earn a second successive 5th place finish, Huddersfield end things 6th, Catalan 7th, and Hull FC's bad run into the season has them 8th.
Yeah. Thanks for rounding that out. Right, round 7 of the qualifiers then. Average attendance in these fixtures was 5,699. Thursday night, these were the games that mattered this weekend. These are the games that were on television, so we've got more from the listeners in on this one. Salford 44, Toulouse 10. It was 14-10 to Salford at half-time. 2,130. Ben Failer was the referee. Do you want to take us through the first fan review?
Yep, Carsten.
Whilst I catch my breath.
Carsten says, first half was all Salford thanks to the 2 late season imports. Toulouse tried to come back in the first 15 minutes to the second half, but Salford had just more quality on the field. And what about that conversion from Luke Burgess?
POB 1976 says the score didn't reflect the game. Both teams played well, but Salford had the edge and went on to win. Super League status for Salford, who have played well in the middle eights, and Toulouse, barring a miracle, are playing in the Championship rugby. Yeah, we know they're playing in the Championship. The miracle did not occur, sadly.
David P said, a step too far for Toulouse. I hope they continue to develop and build on this, but they are not quite ready. Salford are a solid team and will always push other teams if they keep this squad. Yeah,
thanks for getting in touch, David P. You're a new name on me, unless it's David Powell. Maybe it's David Powell. Mitchell Dart said, disappointing end to a great season for Toulouse. No shocks whatsoever if we see Corella and Ford in Super League next year, even though, sadly, Toulouse won't be. Well, we know Corella won't be in Super League next year. On the game itself, Carsten summed it up really, didn't he? It's those 2 imports. I mean, Hastings was the clear man of the match, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Did you think that the final scoreline and that kind of run of tries in that last 20 minutes or so was a bit harsh on the Toulouse side? I mean, right at the start of the second half, they scored a beautiful try through Stan Robin to get it within 1 score, but then it was all Salford, wasn't it? Was that harsh on Olympique?
I think it shows the difference between a Super League team and a Championship team, doesn't it? The fact that towards the back end, Salford can run in those points.
Yeah, and they've got a few people who are class players, and I think one of those scored one of those tries. Niall Evans for me was nearly as brilliant as Jackson Hastings in this game. To be completely honest, I really do like Niall Evans. I would swap Niall Evans for Zach Hardacre with Salford if they want to sort something out.
I'm sure they'll be biting your hand off.
Yeah. But Jackson Hastings was awesome. He was another one who kind of had an emotional moment with the fans. It's unclear what that means. It's going to be a very interesting decision for him because he will have suitors. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And with Wigan possibly right at the front of that queue, if he can keep up the way he's been whilst he's been at Salford, that one bad tackle aside, I'd have him in a shot. in the Wigan lineup. Hull have been another team that have been mentioned in for him, so it's going to be interesting for us to follow. Luke Burgess's retirement, I sort of thought, what was our mate Barry doing announcing that? I didn't know that was a